G'day everyone, this is Health Highlights. Health Highlights is a show about health, health professionals and the people and the stories behind the names we hear about, but we seldom get to meet. Now, if you've been into anything organic or health, I'm sure you have heard about Vitality at the Junction. So today we wanted to come to HQ headquarters here in the Junction at Vitality Health, and we're here talking with the owner and director of this business, Ian Bell. How are you, Ian?
Very well, thank you, Simon. A joy to have you here. Thanks for coming.
My pleasure. Thank you for allowing us to come into your amazing business. Now, firstly, I believe that this was a bit of a career change for you, and you were originally an electrician by trade. How did you come to be in the health industry?
It's a bit cheesy, but I feel as an electrician I was able to bring light into people's lives by putting lights on the roof, and here I feel I'm able to bring light into people's lives by giving them some hope and some good information on what their health directions can be.
Love it, I love it. So, but how did that journey happen for you? So obviously you're an electrician. How did it come to be that you were running this store?
Straight out of school, really didn't know what to do, and I guess found a passion, and found a passion 20 years ago that being able to help people in this way. Have a big history of healthcare in my family. My grandmother was a doctor trained in Switzerland in the 1800s. My grandparents met on the hospital train in Russia, with the White Army fighting the Red Army. So I guess it's in my blood. It just took me a little while to get here.
Wonderful. And so, what particularly is it about the health and the health industry that you're so passionate about?
I'm passionate in non-pharmaceutical approaches to healthcare. I think, not to say that people don't need a pharmaceutical approach, but there's lots and lots of people telling people about that. I believe that, sometimes difficult to get real information on what those non-pharmaceutical approaches can be. That's my passion.
Awesome. So now look, Vitality isn't just a normal health food store, is it? There's really so much going on here. So can you sort of share with us, it's not just product that we can get this, what other things are happening?
Yeah, I mean, it's a model you're probably aware of. It's multidisciplinary. The store's here, but the store's sort of like the heart of the centre.
Yep.
We have a whole lot of other practitioners here. Happy to talk for as long as you like about whatever you like in the shop, and generally you're talking to a naturopath. But sometimes, we can organise consults if that's needed. So we have chiropractors, we have acupuncturists, massage therapists, bone therapists, we have yoga classes, we have a whole lot of different practitioners working together collaboratively to build the best health outcomes that we can for people.
Brilliant. Now, one of the unique things about this store is the fact that you've got a full dispensary, which you can see right here behind us, which is quite unusual for a health food store. Firstly, why is that unusual, and what benefit does that have for you administering even better healthcare for people who are coming in?
I don't really know why it's unusual. It's something that we've always had. We've been here for 20 years and have had the dispensary. I think it's really powerful. To me, the dispensary is distillation of millennia of healthcare, millennia of treatment using herbs and other things like that. And it also allows us to be very specific and directed in what we're able to do for people, putting together very specific remedies.
That's fabulous. So one of the other things that I've noticed, there's this trend towards health now. Like back 20 years ago, probably it wasn't quite so cool, but as the society's gone on, it's starting to become trendy to be healthy, which I think is a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
But now we've got the big supermarkets, and we've got some of the big chain stores. They're actually wanting to get in and get a piece of the healthcare pie. Why do you think that is? And really, are the vitamins and minerals that they have, are they quality ones that we should be taking, or is there better alternatives out there?
I think it's all about differentiation. It's all about knowing which are the good ones and which are the bad ones. Certainly there's a lot of players in the field. I think working out what reason people are in there for, whether they're in for the money or in it for helping people. And I think that becomes really quite immediately obvious when you look at some of the formulations and you get a picture of who the companies are behind them. For us, it's a passion. Our mission statement, and my wife reckons that we need a big one, is to have the doors open so people can come in and ask questions and get real information. That's what we're about. We're about giving that information out. Obviously, we need to be able to earn a buck being able to do that, but generally that comes. But I think when the money comes and the shareholders come before that mission, things become compromised quite quickly.
Have you noticed that there's been a bit of an effect on your business with these big chain actually getting in on it?
Certainly. You know, and you might have noticed there's not many health food stores about. You know, it's really you need to have a point of difference to be able to make a difference. You know, I believe our difference is our passion. You know, we really want people to get change. So, you know, we're able to offer samples in a lot of cases just so people can try things, and we stand behind our products. If it's not working for someone, we don't want to be selling it to them.
So good, that's so good.
Yeah.
So is there a difference? Like, I mean, we've got some multivitamins here, and you know, there's multivitamins everywhere. You know, you've got to go to the stores, and there's this range of different vitamins that they have. Now, are there vitamins and are there better produce? Because I know that there's a lot of fillers and other things that they put in some of these vitamins and minerals that they have in the general store, and therefore they're not as potent. Would you say that there is a big difference?
Oh, certainly. You know, obviously, when you're having a vitamin and not able to get things from food, and unfortunately, some of our food chain is compromised. You know, and some of the things that we're trying to get really, because we have greater needs, because of greater pressures on us in society, you're not able to get them from the food. But certainly there's a huge amount of technology, and I'm sure you're aware of it, that these methylated Bs, which you may or may not have heard of, you know, the differentiation between synthetic folate, which is folic acid, which we've been sort of told for a long time, you know, everybody needs, is actually poisonous for a large proportion of the population. And being able to differentiate between, you know, those people, and I guess being able to offer everybody, you know, products which are suitable for all people, not just those people that, you know, are able to take more synthetic vitamins. I think that's really important.
And I think that's the key thing that you provide, is that you actually provide that knowledge that maybe some of us don't actually know, and how to actually differentiate.
Yeah.
But what would you say to the average person out there who are looking for healthy products and healthy food? What is the defining line? Is there something you could say, like, be looking for more natural type produce, or is there certain things that they can be looking for to know that, you know what, these are good quality products?
It's very hard. I don't think there's a differentiation really. Yeah, I mean, ideally, you know, there's a whole lot more people going, all right, well, I'll have a smoothie, and a smoothie will be fortified with a whole lot of, you know, superfoods and other things like that. And certainly in a lot of situations, that's fantastic. But, you know, people might have more specific needs. It's difficult. I think if people are confused, you know, give us a call, drop in, and we're happy to talk. You know, that's the thing. It's not really a line. It's a feel and a direction. And, you know, there's probably brands which I'd be more comfortable with people going and saying, all right, I can move towards a brand like that. But yeah, very hard to give just a short, you know, this way or that way.
So one of the questions that we often get asked is, you know, how do you get or extract some of these really good vitamins and minerals out of some of the produce, and how does that affect the actual integrity of those vitamins and minerals?
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have a huge knowledge of manufacturing. All I can do is look at the results that we get. Yep. And, you know, often we'll have a very specific response to a specific set of symptoms and a specific product. Yeah, it depends on what people are needing. I feel, you know, if people can, you know, we talked about synthetic folic acid. If people can get, you know, folate, which basically means foliage, which is green foods in a smoothie. If people can look at trying to increase the amount of, you know, ferments, and sometimes needing to be reasonably specifically targeted with that, you know, to build the biome. And obviously, so much of our good health comes from our biome. I think, you know, it would be ideal if we could get our vitamin D from the sun, but unfortunately, we're white in a very brown, sunburnt land, and, you know, we're chronically, you know, low in vitamin D as a society. We look at what we might have been, you know, pre-industrial revolution, when we were outside, you know, 12 hours a day, 365 days a year, in a climate that our skin was suited to, and we had you know, excuse me for the figures, but, you know, about 120 nanomoles per mil of vitamin D in our blood. In Australia, we're talking about 50 nanomoles per mil being enough, wow, and 60 to 70% of us aren't reaching that. And unfortunately, 50 nanomoles per mil is just enough to stop us getting rickets. It's really not enough to do that. We can't get that from the sun. We need to look for synthetic ways of doing that. They can isolate vitamin D from lanolin, which I think is a pretty natural, you know, process. I think there's a lot of lanolin. I don't think too many sheep are suffering within that, but there are vegan sources of that. I can't, you know, begin to understand what the processes are to do that, but I do know that if people can get their vitamin D up to a certain level, good things happen. I mean, there's things like people in Hobart have 6 times the allergy of people living in Cairns. Westmead Breast Cancer Institute released a paper in 2012 saying that women who lived south of Coffs Harbour had double the incidence of breast cancer compared to those living north of Coffs Harbour. There's actually really, really good research saying that if women can get their vitamin D up to 130 nanomoles per mil, which is higher than this 120, their risk of breast cancer drops by 83%.
Wow.
These are really powerful, powerful numbers. In terms of things like the flu vax, which they get excited if they get a 20% improvement. There's really good research from the States saying that people with more than 95 nanomoles per mil in their blood having half the colds and flu of those under 95 and 1/5 of the time off work. So these, very simple and very powerful. Within that, it's very hard to be toxic with vitamin D. Vitamin D, there's no research anywhere in the world showing any toxicity under 500 nanomoles per mil. So you really have to have a broad range of what you can do with your vitamin D, and yeah, ideally getting it from the sun. But
sometimes we do need supplementation, really,
absolutely,
don't we? Particularly with the lack of nutrients in our food and these things these days, we need to consider alternatives that are actually going to provide some of those nutrients that we need. So,
absolutely.
Final question: what would you say are your top 3 or 4 products here, and things that basically are really going to help us in our life and stay healthy?
I guess to me, vitamin D, probiotics. I mean, it's interesting research now saying that probiotics that we're having very unlikely to multiply in our gut, so having them all the time is challenging. Looking at fibres and stuff, and diets which actually will help our own biome, improve in the way that we need to. Obviously, gut health is very important. Leaky gut isn't a hippie health food term anymore. It's a true scientific term with very important papers on that. To me, I'm really passionate about people dropping the stress out of their lives.
Totally.
Our stress response, basically is our inflammatory response, and inflammation's not our friend in any way. But it's very hard because society expects more and more from us. Communion, talking to people, and being able to have that. I think that's one of the joys of being in the shop, is the community that's built around
Absolutely.
it. It's a joy to come to work. So I think vitamin D, gut health. I mean, obviously magnesium. Magnesium very important as an adjunct to that stress response, because we use so much when we are stressed, and it's such an important relaxant.
Sounds great. Oh, look, and I mean, we've done lots of interviews, and a lot of people talk about the healing nature of the community and actually having a community alongside you in what you do. So, plus all those vitamins, minerals are so important for our health. We need to keep them. So, look, thank you so much, Ian, for your time.
Pleasure. Thanks for
Greatly
so much.
Appreciate you allowing us into this amazing store. Look,
a joy to have you here.
And thank you everyone for joining us. Look, if you want to find out any more information or have any questions for Ian, I'm sure he'd love to answer some of your questions. Come down here to the Junction. All the details for Vitality will be on the screen for you right now. Look, thank you everyone for joining us. Have a fantastic week. We'll be here the same time next week, 12:30. Remember, healing is a gift, health a responsibility. See you later.